Hi everybody, my name is Beatrice and I am from the Life Sciences Outreach team at the University of Liverpool, and tonight I am going to be showing you a little demonstration of one of the experiments we do. So this can be done by anybody of all ages, and what this experiment represents and shows is we're going to talk about the digestive tract, and specifically we're going to talk about how you make poo. So if you do want to join in at home, what you will need for this is a pair of scissors, some vinegar, a plastic bag, a measuring jug or a glass or something along that lines, a container, doesn't have to be, a bowl would do, a piece of bread, or something along those lines. The more stodgy something is, the better this is going to work. A little bit of water, doesn't have to be loads. I'd maybe suggest a little bit more than this, but this will do. A tight, as you can see, this one only has one leg. That is because you only need one leg. So tights you are happy to cut up. And then again, a bowl or a tray or some container. So what we're going to begin with first is when you eat food. So this is my beautiful sandwich, already has a bite out of it. And when you eat this food, the first thing that happens is it passes into your mouth. And there are three types of teeth. There are your molars, which are at the back, and they are the last teeth to get your food. And they grind up your food, they mush up your food. You have your incisors, which are these ones at the front. They cut up your food. And then you have your canines, which are your sharp pointy ones, which rip up your food. And this all allows it to be broken down in the first step in your mouth. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bread and our container, and what we're first just going to do is I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to chop this bread up into just like pieces roughly about this size, just nice pieces, and they will go into my container. And that was my incisors cutting it up. And then we can rip this bread up into a bit smaller pieces, just like this, and that is our canines ripping it up. And then what I said next, take a second, can you remember what teeth it was next? That's correct, it was my molars. They are what are coming next. And we're gonna mush it up. Oh, sorry, this was one thing I said you might need. Pause and run and get it if you don't have it. You will need a potato masher or something like this. We're gonna take a little bit of water because in our mouth we have, I don't know if you can see, if you can feel it in your mouth, we have like a bit of a watery substance. But can anyone think what that might be called? Have a little think. That's right, it is saliva. In our mouth we have saliva. So our water is going to mimic that. What we're going to do, take our jug with our ripped up bread and pour this water on. That is our saliva. Okay? And then I'm going to take my potato masher and I'm just going to mash this up. Okay? And this is what happens in your mouth. It gets all mushed up into this really disgusting substance. Can you see that? That doesn't look like bread anymore, does it? No, and that's my molars grinding it up, mushing up this bread. Okay, so once we've done that, our food currently is still in our mouth. But if it has to come out of our other end, how does it get there? So the next step, if you think about it, if you open your mouth really wide, there's a tube at the back. That tube is called your esophagus. So what happens is it goes through your mouth, down into your esophagus, and that goes all the way down here, goes into your stomach. So we are going to take our plastic bag and open it. I just closed it. And I'd maybe suggest doing this over your tray in case of any spillages or anything like that. We're going to take our plastic bag and we are going to pour in our mushy substance that's come from our mouth, okay? That is going to go into the bag. If it's a little bit stodgy like mine, you can always just pick it out and put it in the bag as well. And then now that's in here, in your stomach, this gets all mushed up again. But there's a very specialist substance in your stomach. And this substance is known as acid. We have stomach acid in our stomachs. So we have here our good old vinegar. This is going to pretend to be our stomach acid because vinegar is actually a very weak acid. So we're going to put this, just a few drops, into the bag, just like that. Maybe a few more. We're going to seal our bag up and we're going to squish this all up. Because in our stomach, this is what happens. It gets all squished up, lovely and mushed up by contractions in your stomach and muscles that are there to mix this up and further break down this food and get everything out of this food. You might even need a little bit more. If you need a little bit more, you can add a little bit more. Your stomach's constantly making it. There's always more. It's all good. Okay? And then once we've done that, your next step is it goes from your stomach into your intestines. Now, there is two different types of intestines. There is a small intestine and a large intestine. It passes through your small intestine first. But for the purpose of saving as many tights as possible, we are just going to pretend we have one very long intestine, and that is our tite. So you just want one leg of your tite. So just cut off one leg. And you've got a one leg tite, or if you're like me, you've just got a nice little pant now. And with your tite, with your intestine, what's going to happen is you're going to send your food down your intestine. All the nutrients are going to come out. So I would definitely suggest doing this over your bucket or your tray or whatever you might have. And you want to get your stomach and you want to make sure it's all in one place. So as much in one bit of the bag as possible. Just squidge it over. All nicely mushed up over there. And then you want to cut the bottom. Be very careful doing this. And then put it over your tite and squeeze it all into your tite. It's going to go all into there, all that lovely mushy stuff. We're going to tite. This might take a second. Sometimes it takes a minute for it to all come out. But that's okay. Interesting fact for you, it actually can take up to 48 hours for food to come through your digestive tract. So it's not quite as quick as you might think. Also, your intestines, does anyone know how long they might be? Have a little chat. They're quite long. They're 2 meters long, which is quite long, I'd say. So once you've got all your substance in your tank, you're going to squeeze it through. And you might feel that there's quite a bit of wetness coming out. depending on how much water and how much vinegar you've added, might actually sprawl out into the bucket. This is all the nutrients coming out. So anything that your body needs to be able to move and work and breathe and grow and all that good stuff, that is all going to get squeezed out and that will go into the blood. So my hands are quite wet now, and all that good stuff will go into the blood and will be used by the body to make everything that the body actually needs. And all the stuff the body doesn't need, or the bad stuff, or the unhelpful stuff, all the nutrients you don't need, they're going to get to the end of the tube or the end of our intestine. What happens then? I'm sure we all know the answer. We've all been to the toilet many times. That will be excreted by your body. So that just means it's going to exit the body. So what you're going to do, we already have a pre-cut hole, but you're going to cut a hole in your bottom of your tights, and you're just going to squeeze out that poo out of your tight. Oh, that just pinged. And there you have it. You have your poo. Now this poo is quite safe to pick up. You can have a look at it. Maybe even compare it to a piece of bread at the beginning, because that is quite drastically different to a piece of bread, I would say. But that is, you have it. I will say, you might notice it is a different colour to poo. That is because in your stomach there are a few extra things that we don't have in this experiment. There's a thing called bile. Bile pigments make your poo brown. In this experiment, just for the purpose of safety, we don't have that. But that is why your poo is brown, no other reason. So I hope you've enjoyed this little demonstration. Feel free to watch it again, do it again, try it with different foods. Try it with different amounts of water. If you add more water or more vinegar, what happens? Is the poo softer? Is it more watery? Is it harder? Try it and see what happens. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.